Nobody knew. It was total shock. I mean, players have been reached out to on the PGA Tour, and they've all come out and said, no way. Did not know that. Some of them quite unhappy about it, about the lack of information. And there's just so many questions. And we don't have the answer to a lot of them already.
No, Sean, so we've got the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour and LIV Golf. Those three entities will still remain in their own rights. It's just the commercial deals around, the commercial operations around those tours, that's what's going to merge. And the ability for players to flip in and out of various tours without any lawsuits appearing here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, so the lawsuits until about an hour ago were pending. They've all been dropped. So there's no more legal action between the two tours. And it does very much sound like they're going to be one thing. So what that will look like, there's very little information right now. But Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, he said he likes the team formats in LIV Golf all of a sudden. It looks like the PIF, the Saudi Public Investment Fund, they're going to be the main funder of this joint enterprise. And it looks like Yasser Al-Rumayyan, the chairman of Newcastle, governor of the PIF, he's going to be the big boss. He's going to be the kind of guy who looks over all of this. So immediately the questions you have are, wow, you've changed your tune, haven't you? When you look at people like Jay Monahan, who were this time last year talking about 9/11 and the families and why people shouldn't be joining LIV Golf for that reason. And now all of a sudden he's teamed up with the Saudi Public Investment Fund. So there's going to be a lot of questions. But I think in the short term, in terms of what it means for the golf fan, what you were alluding to earlier, you may have reservations about the way it's happened. But this is good news for the golf fan in terms of you'll be able to see Brooks Koepka and Rory McIlroy. We don't really know in what format that will become clearer, but it's bringing golf back together. The civil war has ended, which can only be a good thing.
You say, and listen, I understand it probably is a good thing, as you said, all the top players coming back together again. But what do you think has led to the decision to PGA to almost bend and give in to the LIV Golf? Because they were adamant that they didn't want any part of it. Now all of a sudden they've come together. What do you think's changed their mind, or is it the fact of it comes down to deep pockets?
I want to be really cynical and say money, because it
has to be.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Because you'd say deep pockets, they're none deeper, are there, than the PIF? And I think that was what truly shocked me. Is in my book, the PGA Tour was winning. The players, the LIV Rebels, were dropping like flies in that antitrust lawsuit that was coming up in 2024. The DP World Tour, which has obviously had that alliance with the PGA Tour, they had just won so they upheld the sanctions, the suspensions, the fines against the Rebels, which meant they had to hand in their DP World Tour membership, which meant the likes of Poulter, Westwood, Garcia, they weren't going to be able to play in the Ryder Cup. And as far as I can gather, no one was really watching LIV Golf. I mean, they had their little wins in terms of Brooks Koepka and those little kind of moments of publicity. But in terms of real numbers, I don't think LIV was really succeeding. So, I mean, the PGA Tour was doing just fine. It really is. Everyone's just waiting for more information when it comes to this. I think even Yasser Al-Rumayyan was just on the telly in America saying he called LIV Golf CEO Greg Norman moments before he went on the interview. So it sounds like the CEO of LIV Golf wasn't even that much in the know when it came to this.
When is this all going to happen, Sean? When's this going to start? So this merger officially, when do we expect it to all get underway? And what are the ramifications for the Ryder Cup and those that we're going to be excluded from that?
So that's the big question. So it's end of this season. So this season's just going to carry on as normal. So you'll have the LIV Golf schedule, you'll have the PGA Tour schedule. That's one thing. The PGA Tour had totally revamped its entire schedule starting next year, and I mean that seems to have gone out the window now. It's going to be really interesting to see how that looks, whether it is they happen separately or it's a true merger. And when it comes to the Ryder Cup, they've said there's going to be a fair and objective route back to membership for the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour, but they've also admitted that that's very complicated because of all the fines and suspensions that are upheld in a court of law. So in terms of the Ryder Cup, you would suspect, I mean, remember Henrik Stenson, the Team Europe captain, actually lost his place as captain for this upcoming Ryder Cup because of the decision to join LIV Golf. And it very much seemed like they were just out of the picture. It was a bit different on Team USA because they have slightly different rules, and Brooks Koepka would actually qualify on points as things stand. Slightly different qualification criteria that they have over there and what memberships you need. But it certainly seems like the European rebels, particularly Sergio Garcia, because I'm not sure Poulter and Westwood would make it on form either way. But someone like Sergio Garcia, greatest Ryder Cup player in history, he's got to be back in the picture now at least.
Sure. But who will feel, Darren, who will feel, Sean, that they've won? Because obviously, look, there's been a huge amount of brinkmanship here. Yes, an awful lot of money involved to bring these people to the table to end up coming up with some sort of deal. Who will feel that actually they've won and that they own the rightful place at the very top of world golf?
That's a really good question. And the LIV Golf rebels are already claiming it as a win. So you see Phil Mickelson saying it was a good day today with a smiley face on Twitter. Brooks Koepka calling out some of the people who have been really critical. So they certainly see this as they emerged victorious. But Jay Monahan, PGA Tour Commissioner, in his statement, he said this is a historic, memorable, kind of joyous day for all of golf. So, I mean, it's really hard to say, really. I mean, I think the immediate questions will be, what happened, like you said, and why did the PGA Tour suddenly make this dramatic U-turn? Because at the moment, I would probably say it looks like a win for the Saudis.
What would you say? So you've got the likes of Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods. I mean, they're talking about he got offered $1 billion, wasn't it, to join it, and he was adamant he wasn't going to do it. What does that mean for these type of players then? Because could you see a day? Obviously, I know you don't know the answer to this, but where Tiger goes, no, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what golf is to me, and just calls it a day.
Well, this is it. The reason why Tiger Woods said no was sporting integrity.
Exactly.
Because LIV Golf in its current... He's got all the money in the world. He's one of the richest athletes.
He turned down $1 billion.
Literally. And he just could not... As someone who literally, like, just all he knows is how to grind it in the dirt. Like, he was literally, like, couldn't move, couldn't walk, and he still came back and won the Masters, all that kind of stuff. And something like LIV Golf, with no kind of... It's closed shop, no qualification criteria, those kind of things... It just didn't make any sense to him on that level. So if they can merge all of these kind of separate entities and make something that is actually elite level professional golf, which LIV just wasn't. It was basically the best of the sellouts is what you were watching. And yes, Brooks Koepka and Cameron Smith are incredible golfers, but they're playing against people who haven't proven themselves in the professional game. It's hard to know what that means when you beat players like that.